I'm calling it. MVPs have been determined for 2024. It is in the books. It is pretty much done. And let's talk. Our first category is who are the rookie MVPs. I would have loved to put Mr. Carmelo Hayes, Mr. Put the Fries in the Bag, you're washed himself on the list, but unfortunately, Bron Breakker, he's the rookie. He had an amazing year. He actually got called up on SmackDown, but nobody remembers that. But once he came to Raw, the dude was on fire. He had a mean streak, and he had a chip on his shoulder and something to prove, and boy howdy, did he. Bron Breakker, he is such a natural, and might be a little unfair because of the pedigree that he comes from. The Steiners, they ain't no joke, but don't matter. He took the gifts that were naturally given to him and the nepotism that might have been given to him, and he ran with it. There is no denying this guy is the future. He plowed through everybody. He's great on the mic. They had a couple questionable losses to Sami Zayn in the beginning. He had a loss to even Jey Uso that I was really happy for Jey Uso, but regardless, he was able to bounce back every time, being more of a threat than before, and that's all you can really ask for in a WWE superstar. And so Bron Breakker is your rookie of the males division. Female, Tiffany Stratton. She is a gymnast in a former life. I guess she wasn't really trying to be a WWE superstar. This was not her dream, and you cannot tell by how natural that she is. She has the look, she has the ability, and she has the personality. Yeah, great stuff. I actually feel, though, she got a little derailed about a month or two in with her partnership with Nia, but at the end of the day, it does keep her on TV. She won the Money in the Bank. She's gonna cash it in eventually. 2024 didn't look like it was gonna happen. There is still a little bit of time left on 2024, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But whether it does or it doesn't, Tiffany Stratton came out from NXT just, I don't know, she instantly, if you go back to February, she's already in the Elimination Chamber. She actually was fighting for the championship with Naomi, Bayley, and, well, herself at Backlash. So instantly, the WWE already knows automatically that this is a star and a future main eventer, that they already started putting her in main events. And on top of that, she wins the Money in the Bank. So definitely future, great stuff for Tiffany Stratton. The next MVPs are you boys and you girls of this channel. For real, you are. If you didn't exist, if you did not click on these videos, who would I be talking to? I'd be just yelling at clouds. So I need you more than you need me, and I appreciate that. So at 10,000 subscribers, I'm gonna give away this belt in appreciation. Also, in hopes that I'm eventually able to quit my day job. I'm following the dream of trying to become a full-time YouTube wrestling content creator. Say that 3 times fast. YouTube wrestling content creator. YouTube wrestling content creator. YouTube wrestling content creator. Success. Anyways, I'm trying to do that, trying to follow the dream, and I could use your help. So I need subscribers, I need comments. That's how you are going to get picked. I will pick a random comment from a random video. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and maybe give a thumbs up. That would definitely make you MVPs, or continue to be MVPs. But remember, I will give away this belt at 10,000 on a live stream. Free shipping, free everything. Next MVP. Your mid-card MVP might be a little bit of a questionable decision on my part, because a lot of people might put Solo Sikoa on as the MVP of the mid-card, but I don't see him as a mid-carder. Main event. I see Solo Sikoa as a main event player. Now, he is not my MVP for the main event. However, I did Breakout Stars of WWE 2024, and he is actually my #1 breakout star, so I won't rehash it in this video. You can watch it up there. So who is my male's mid-card MVP if Solo Sikoa is to main event to be mid-card? What's Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes, he had a bang-up year as a mid-carder. Just kidding. I know. Some people in my comment section, they'll tell me that he's a glorified mid-carder, but no, that was a joke. Bronson Reed is the MVP mid-card of 2024. The guy, he had a decent beginning. He was kind of just like, I don't know, he would win some, he would look intimidating, and then he would lose to whoever was actually in a storyline pretty much for the first half of the year. He'd win some, he'd lose some, and he would tell us how much of a monster he he is, but his win-loss record didn't really reflect that. But then, after SummerSlam, Seth Rollins, he was kind of starting a program with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, and then out of nowhere, Bronson Reed destroyed him. I think it was 6 tsunamis. Instantly, he was on the map. And then he continued to do this until he got into a feud with Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman, who I believe, kind of not as interesting as he once was. Well, up until now, because his feud with Bronson Reed, those two just went at it. I think it was about a 2-month program, and when it was all said and done, Bronson Reed lost, but it didn't matter. He lost because Seth Rollins actually attacked him and got revenge, but it didn't matter. He came out looking so good. So good. He didn't need the win. He legitimized himself as a monster and all the things he did. He threw a fan. Never seen that done before. Dang it. I wanted to put that on my never done before list. I just did a never been done before list, so I'm adding one on this video. Bronson Reed throws a fan. Dang it. I knew I was forgetting something. Anyways, Bronson Reed, he throws a fan. He jumps off of some parking structure onto Braun Strowman. The car explodes almost. There's just a lot of carnage left behind Bronson Reed. He then gets into a feud with Seth Rollins. He loses, but still looks strong. He then wins with the help of Solo Sikoa. He joins the War Games, and he looks like he's a member of the Bloodline, and he has the most memorable spot in the match. I wish he wouldn't have done it. He has injured himself, and I pray that you guys, you wrestlers, men or women, just stop doing that. I don't care if you're in a garbage can and you're flipping backwards or you're just jumping off onto a table. Stop jumping off cages. We don't need that. Your health is more important to us. I digress. It was still awesome. Name a mid-card who really stepped up as big as him. You could say Jey Uso, actually. Jey Uso, he would be definitely contender for it, but I'm still going Bronson Reed. I didn't even think of Jey, but now I'm thinking of Jey, and I think you can tell, though, that they don't trust giving the ball to Jey. They just like his sales, but they're definitely giving the ball to Bronson Reed, so I'm keeping Bronson Reed as your male MVP of the mid-card division. Female mid-card, you could actually argue Tiffany Stratton, and that'd be a valid argument. You could actually argue Io Sky, but I consider her to be main event, so she's not eligible. So who would it be? I'm gonna say Chelsea Green. I think Chelsea Green had an amazing year. She actually had a dumpster match with Meacham, a rare non-title women's match, because a lot of times, if there's not a title involved, the women don't get airtime other than, well, maybe they get a random match, but they don't get a storyline. They don't get a storyline, and she got a storyline. And Meacham would actually be a very good contender for the MVP mid-card division as well, but I'm giving it to Chelsea basically because even though Meacham won the dumpster match between those two, when it was all said and done, Chelsea had more airtime. She stole more scenes from anybody in the WWE, except for maybe R-Truth. And at the end of the year, she won the first ever women's U.S. championship. And so I gotta be like, well, when I look at the year as a whole, Chelsea Green, your women's mid-card MVP. Tag team division, when I do it by month, I actually only do one tag team, whether in the men's or women's, because I just don't feel it's strong enough. I will split it for the year. But if I felt the overall best tag team, men or women's, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. This was a division that was meaningless, that was cursed, that nobody wanted to be a part of. And Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, I don't care why they came together. They came together after WrestleMania. They won the championship and they defended the championship month in, month out, week in, week out. They raised up a lot of people, whether it was rookies like Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson from NXT. They really showcased Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Gave Chelsea Green a lot of moments to steal. Piper Niven as well. Just a lot of good stuff in the women's division. I felt that the women's tag team championships were more important than the men's tag team championships throughout the entire year. I don't know, Bianca and Jade, they seemed like they actually valued the title. It seemed like they actually wanted the titles, and when they lost, they fought to get it back. It was something important to them. That's what a title is supposed to be. It's supposed to be important and not a prop, and I believe that Jade and Bianca, it was something that they cherished, and it made it feel special, and those two, well, Bianca for sure is a main eventer, and Jade looks like a main eventer, and even though she's still in the training process, I mean, don't forget, in the world of wrestling, she's 3 years old, all right? So give her a break. But in reality, she comes across way better with Bianca, and yeah, I just have to say the way they defended and the way they wanted to keep a grip on those titles makes them the MVPs of the tag teams division as a whole. If I have to pick a men's tag team, even though I feel that the Bianca and Jade are way more MVPs than anybody in the men's tag team division, I'd probably go, I wish I could do the New Day, but I can't. The New Day, they had the best angle, but it really had an angle that was like, that was kind of separate from the tag team division. It was more so like standalone in the New Day universe. So I can't put them in, even though they had the best storyline. I wish the Street Profits, but they didn't do nothing with them. DIY, I'd have to say DIY, and that's because they had a good couple matches. They had a couple banger matches throughout the year with the Machine Guns, the ladder match. They did win the titles twice, actually, but I would say it's their storyline of how they won it the second time, where Tommaso Ciampa is really just like, come on, Gargano, you got to do it, and there was a swerve. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm only picking DIY because it's slim pickings in the men's division. The men's division was a joke of a tag team scene. It really, really was. I should honestly just award nobody in the men's division the MVP and just give Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill 2 MVPs, because that's how bad the men's division was. So if I had to, I'm going DIY, but I kind of don't want to, but I'm just DIY, congratulations. And now we go to the women's MVP of the main event scene, the overall. You could definitely put Rhea Ripley in this category. Rhea Ripley had a great year. The first half of the year, she was champion. She dominated as champion. She walked into the new year as champion. She defended against Nia Jax in February. She went on to beat Becky Lynch in a great match. And then she got injured, which really derailed her, but it did give her a complete blood feud with Liv Morgan, who, in my opinion, Liv Morgan is actually the MVP. But Rhea Ripley, she could definitely do it. Honestly, I don't even know. If I don't want to cheat and say co-MVPs, but I'm gonna give it to Liv, only because it felt like this was Liv's coming out year. The fact that she returns at Rumble and she just kind of claws her way into the main event scene, and she was a main event player before, so it's not like it's her breakout year, but it also seems like it was just a new Liv Morgan, and she claws her way to beating Becky Lynch, getting the title, going on a revenge tour. The whole division centered around her. The Judgment Day completely dismantled because of her. Well, maybe not dismantled, but a lot of things happened with the Judgment Day because of her. She steals Dominic. She has a win, and one of the biggest moments at SummerSlam with her and Dom kissing. It just feels that everything revolved around her. Rhea Ripley was always chasing her. Rhea Ripley was always reacting to her. Liv was the person in the forefront while everybody reacted around her. If you want to put Rhea as the MVP, that's totally cool, totally understandable. But for me, I feel Liv had a better year in that she held the title the whole time, and it was her coming out year. But it's like 51% Liv, 49% Rhea in my book. Liv Morgan, great year, great stuff. Yeah, your feud went on a little too long, and I wish you would have gotten more challengers than just Rhea Ripley. And, you know, I think you defended your title 3 other times. But yeah, either way, Liv Morgan, MVP, great year for her. And the men's MVP is, well, you know, if we're going the first half of the year before WrestleMania 40, you could argue The Rock. But The Rock, well, you know, after WrestleMania, he kind of disappeared. And same with Roman Reigns. And so I'm not going to put them as your MVPs, but it's almost unfair to even have them in the argument at this point, in the discussion at this point. They're just like company MVPs at this point. Those two are in discussion for the Mount Rushmore of WWE as a whole, and I almost never want to put them as MVPs because it almost seems like even if they show up, they instantly gain MVP status. So I'm just going to put those two off the table and say for the whole entire year, though, from January to December, Drew McIntyre. I don't think that's a surprise. Drew McIntyre has been just crazy all over the place and just the best character work of his career. Kind of like Liv. It's hard to say this is a breakout year for Drew McIntyre because he's had amazing years in the past, even main eventing WrestleMania in the past, but holy cow, this year totally changed him. After Royal Rumble, it was like he was this just, I don't know, he was the same and yet different character that we've come to know and loathe. He's like, he has this very sarcastic troll likeness of him, and he's such a big dude that it's like, you know, how do you combat a funny sarcastic giant of a man? You know, and then he goes on the internet and he can just totally roast you. He owns people on the internet. Don't pick a fight with Drew on Twitter, because he will destroy you, but he'll destroy you also in the ring. Now, on accident, he did injure CM Punk, but that led to the best feud of the year. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, those two, I could do a whole video on those two. I mean, we have the WrestleMania moment where Drew gets the championship and CM Punk, he blames CM Punk because CM Punk, like, you know, takes his feet from under him, and then Damian Priest comes and cashes in on him. We have the Money in the Bank cash-in that was a failure. We have that awesome moment at Clash at the Castle when Drew has Damian Priest pinned and a referee comes in, 1-2, but nope, it's CM Punk. And yeah, just so many good things. Plus, we get the Hell in the Cell, stealing the bracelet, those two. Just a whole video series could be on that rivalry. Great rivalry, but that wasn't it. See, that's the thing with Drew. He didn't hang his hat on just one rivalry, one match. No, throughout the entire year, in the beginning, it was him and Seth. And he was saying, you know, let's just it be you and me. Let's keep the bloodline out of this. Those two feuding with each other, having a back and forth. Drew McIntyre stepping up on the mic. At one point, you didn't really see Drew McIntyre as a mic guy, but now he's standing toe-to-toe with CM Punk in the ring. And then what happens after the CM Punk feud? What happens after? Well, now he's back in a feud with the entire bloodline. Drew McIntyre is such a boss that he is literally feuding with the entire bloodline. And he's such a boss that he goes to Solo Sikoa, man to man, even though Solo is flanked by Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, and he's like, listen, you take out Roman, I'll take out the rest. They make a deal. They make a deal like that. Solo Sikoa then comes and helps beat up Jey, and Drew just like walks away. Drew is a very smart villain right now, and he's just going one after one, taking them all down. He's a man on a mission. He says the truth, and yet we still hate him. And yeah, he's just been so good. So good. He really stepped up his game in character work, in ring work, in mic work, in everything work. The dude is like, he's on fire. I don't think we'll be able to boo him much longer because like he just makes so much sense and he's so good at what he does. He's so believable that we're gonna gravitate towards him. I put it on my Christmas wish list and I hope he becomes the face of the company soon because like he definitely 100% deserves it. 2024 was the year of Drew McIntyre. I stand by that. He is your men's MVP. And yeah, so there you have it. There are my MVPs. You know, I could have probably put Jacob Fatu in consideration for breakout or rookie of the year. The reason why I didn't with that though is because, well, you know, he kind of was just part of the bloodline storyline while Bron Breakker was more standalone. I wanted to include that in there. But anyways, guys, girls, please let me know who your MVPs are of the year. Did I get anybody wrong? Do you feel that this person should be the MVP? Let me know in the comments below. And you guys, you girls, you're the MVPs, and I hope you have a very MVP day. Does that make sense? Have a good day.